Okay, hello. Sorry for the technical bits. Okay, let me. All right, hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
We can.
Can yes, Ishra, can you hear me? Hello, Ishra. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Uh, okay. Good afternoon to everybody. Thanks for joining me.
Good
I'm having some feedback. I'm just trying to work out where it's coming from so that we can have a very clear sound. Okay, let me just try and see. Okay, all right, Jack. Okay, let me see. Jacqueline, I'm having some feedback from your environment. So if you can check your sound for me, that would be great. Okay, but good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How are you all doing? Okay, all right. Let me try and see. I'm going to be bringing my guests back on. Let's try and make sure that their sound is sorted and everything is okay. But thank you very much for joining me on this Sunday's edition of Chatwith session. Like I was saying at the beginning of the program, I was telling you about my guest that I have today, and we will generally be talking about their music, their journey, and what they've been up to, where they began, and how far they have come, and where we can access their songs. What is it that makes them stand out, that makes them different, what motivated them to get into ministry, and everything that we would be able to find out from them. So you will be part of the conversation as well. If you have any questions for my guests, do well, and then let's ask them. So let me see if I can bring let's see. All right, okay, let's bring them back. Hello, Inshra. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Oh,
How are you
I'm
too?
great. Thanks very much for taking time out to join me. Uh,
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you also for having
Lovely. And
me.
how was church?
Very
Awesome,
great.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let me go to Jacqueline. I'm still having feedback from Jacqueline, but hey, hopefully we'll get it sorted out. So let me maybe maybe Jacqueline, I'm gonna ask you to maybe go off and come back so that we will see if we can get your sound sorted. Right. Hi. Okay, so Ishra, let me start with you. So how are things generally? It's been locked down, and I'm sure that a lot of other projects, a lot of projects that maybe you had planned from the beginning of the year, somewhat has come to a stall. So church, family, lockdown. How are things going generally?
Oh, by the grace of God, I mean, as we are all aware of the pandemic, I mean, we are also not in normal times. But with God on our side, I mean, things are fine and okay. We thank God.
Oh wow, great, great, great. So music and music ministry wise, what have you been up to?
By the grace of God, I did a live recording last year, 7th December. and of my whole album titled High Voltage, and plans. I planned releasing them single by single. So in February, I released a Body for Fraud, which you just played. And like 3 weeks ago, I also released another single. I believe they're all on YouTube. Yes.
Great. I'm interested in the title of the album, High Voltage. That is
Mm-hmm.
that is a very unusual title for a gospel or gospel album.
Yes, high voltage, high voltage, high voltage. This album was released. I did a studio recording with my good brother Koda in Takrady. I know he's a good brother to you as well.
Yes, he is.
And we did this in 2010. 2010. Yeah, I think yeah, it's 2010. So we released one of it about uh, this one, Meje and Love. The Love is on YouTube. Meje is also on YouTube, and we decided that since we never had the time to really promote it. I mean, I was a young married woman, and we were making family. And you and I know as well, it's very necessary.
Yeah,
Um,
very,
it's
very
very
necessary.
necessary. I mean, a young marriage, I mean, we are co-creators with God. So we decided to be creating with God and, I mean, bring out our kind. And hopefully, I mean, they came. So by now, I think God has been good to us. And we decided to bring this whole album back. And every song on this album, I bet you it's fire. It's fire. It's God given. It's inspirational. It's encouraging. And what would I even say? I thought I was done with this, but upon praying, God said He's not done with this album. So we should rebrand it and bring it out for the whole world to hear about
Wow.
it. So
Okay.
in December last year, we did a live recording. We recorded 8 of the songs on the album live with the Up Crew band, and my brother Koda came around. I mean, he helped with the recording and all that. And hope by the grace of God, Abodefofa was released in February, and like 3 weeks ago, I believe was also released. Yes, so that's why it's called High Voltage.
Hmm. Okay. Great to know about that. So, basically, it was a studio album. Then, by the leadings of the Holy Spirit, you decided to rebrand, re-record, into a live experience, and now the videos are being released. Is that the case? Have I captured the summary right? Okay, right. So I hope I've not lost Inshira. Let me bring on. Hello, Jacqueline. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please, I can.
Okay, right. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. And let me come to your story as well. Is is
Yes.
is this your first single, or you have other singles that you have released?
Okay, so Miracle
Yeah, this
God.
this is supposed to be my first single. I hope you are referring to me, right?
Hello. Yeah, Ishra. Okay, so right, great. I lost you in a moment, so I went to Jacqueline, but I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you. So, Jacqueline, thanks for joining me as well. I want to find out if this is your first or second release that you have done.
Okay, so for Miracle God, I released it in January. That was 3rd January. So just this in June, first week in June, I released Dear God. So I
Right.
have two
So
singles out there.
you have two singles out. Okay. So tell me a bit about your music journey. How long have you been doing this, let's say professionally?
Okay, so professionally, I would say it's been 3 years since I started doing my own thing. Yeah, but then I mean, when I was growing up, I wasn't really a music person because I didn't have a good voice. I didn't even know that I was going to. I mean, I was growing up to become a musician or something like that. Yeah, so through to JHS, I still had nothing to do with music. But then I had family members that were musicians. So, I mean, when they are going for rehearsals, I'll follow them. But I don't have a good voice, so I don't really do anything when I go for the rehearsals. Through to university, I went to University of Cape Coast. So when I went there, I joined the Masqua, UCC Masqua.
Okay.
So when I joined it, that was when okay, so I was part of the vocal team. Then that's how the journey has been because I can't really I don't have much to say about my music journey. I have just 3 years of like proper experience.
Mm. Don't worry, I will come back to you and find out the motivations. But I've been joined also by Mama Ernestina Connie, and I'm so excited that Mama Ernestina Connie has found time to join us. Hello!
Hello.
Wow! 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 Mama Ernestina, it's been so many years.
Yes, so many years.
Wow! I'm glad that you've made time to join. Now, now that I have you all here, let me explain why I decided to have all of you join me for this afternoon's chat rather than maybe doing let me see. Okay, Inshra. Okay, Inshra, can you hear me now? Uh, Wait, bear with me one moment. Inshra couldn't hear me. Inshra, can you hear me now? But can everyone hear me though? Can everyone hear
Yes,
me
I
now?
Yes,
can hear you.
Okay, all right. Oh, Shira should be able to hear me. So I was saying that the reason why I decided to have a chat with all of you this afternoon is I feel that we've come to a point, especially when it comes to gospel music in Ghana and even around the world, that we need to um, find a way of coming together to support each other and also make sure that we introduce our ministries to new audiences around the world. I mean, there are audiences I know from Western region and the environment central region who are primary core hard die hard I should say audience or fans of Mama Ernestina Connie because they know her for so many years. All right, I have Inshira
Mhm,
Dijemfi who is based in
mhm.
Kumasi, and I know that there are people that love her ministry. I have Jacqueline who is started for the past few years now. People that love her ministry. Now it will be very interesting and very what's the word? Yeah, it will be very interesting for all these audiences to get to know of other ministers, I should say. So that is why I thought about it, and I'm like, why not bring all of you this afternoon, and let's have a chat. Let's find out what has been the motivations when it comes to your ministries, what has been your musical and your ministry journey. What should we be looking forward to in the future, and get the audience to experience the diversity in all your ministries. So that's the reason why I decided to bring all of you together this afternoon. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, Mama Nestina, let me come to you. I've already asked Shira and Jacqueline about how they
Okay.
started. Let me come to you. I know a little bit because when I was at Kids FM, I had the
Uh-huh.
opportunity. Yeah, I had the opportunity of interviewing you. You used to play your song and all that kind of thing. But tell me a little bit about how you started, and how far you've come because it's been a while, but you are still releasing new tracks, and which is remarkable, amazing.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. Greetings to my sister Inshira and Jackie. I hope you remember me.
very vivid.
Thank you very much, brother. It has not been easy though, but God on our side, we are still moving on. I started singing at a very tender age. But then I was not in any choir, but in a brigade. Then
Right.
later on, I joined the Victory Bible Church, and I joined the choir. It was there that I started singing seriously. And then later on, I married and then went to Holy Fire Revival Ministries. And then I joined the choir. And one day, Reverend Charlie Sam called me in the, we were going to have a midweek service. And the one who was supposed to lead the praise and worship was not around. So Reverend Charlie Sam called me and said, Akos, you have to lead the praise and worship. And I was like, hey, Pastor, no, I am not a leader. I always back. So I knew I was going to do the usual thing. And then when I started singing, hey, people started falling down. When I took the praise song, people started falling down. I was like, it was I'm watching a video. And I stood there and then watched them falling down. And then Pastor shouted, Akos, go on. And then I continued the thing. Right after that, then Pastor told me to come to his office and see him. I didn't know that I had that call.
Right.
I was just in the choir doing the usual back. And then when I went, he said that, Akos, that's your call, so you have to start working towards it. And then I said, okay. So I was writing songs, not my own songs, but then the praise and worship songs, and then I'll be singing them and then go and show it to him. And then when it is not a praise song, he will tell me this one is not a praise song. This one is for maybe ministration or something. So right from the onset, he showed me songs that are for worship and praise and songs that are for ministrations. And so I went on and went on. And then when because of that, I started doing praise and worship in my morning devotions. And sometimes when I do them, I get songs. And so I write them or I record them. And then I had an urge to go to the studio and then do them. And then my husband has been a very good support. When I showed him the songs, he said, okay, when you are ready, we go. And then, my first, I'll say, was it CD or cassette? It was cassette. In those times, yes. I recorded at a studio in Tema. And then later I decided not to go to Tema again, but then do it here with Coda. So Coda has been recorded my songs all this while. All this while. I have 8 albums, 5 solid albums, and then 3 singles. The
Right.
singles, we call it an album. So yeah, it total is 8. And that's how it started. It started right from praise and worship team in the choir, but then the pastor or the leader saw what God has called me to do, and so he picked me up and then mentored me, and here we are. It has not been easy. Sometimes
Wow.
you want to give up. Yeah, sometimes you want to give up, but then you hear the Spirit say, "Go on, go on, go on. I'm with you." Because my last album was about 5 years ago. I nearly said, "Oh no, it's okay. I have to maybe train other people for them to come and then continue." But then, what can you do if the Spirit says, "Go, go on, go on"?
Mm.
So that has been the journey.
Wow. Wow, that's a remarkable story. And from what all of you have shared, everyone has a different path that they've come from. But Mama, when you were talking, you mentioned, how God used to give you songs and how
Yeah.
you would submit it to your mentor to check whether it's praise or it's worship, or just give you that guidance. Let me ask you,
Yeah.
Ishra and Jacqueline, let me ask you, what has been your songwriting experience like? How has it been like?
So I think with mine, I get most of the chorus from dreams.
From dreams.
Then
Okay.
I sit down. Then I sit down to write the lyrics. I mean the verses. So that's what most of the times I do. I get the lyrics, the chorus from dreams. Then I sit down to write the verses.
Hmm. So, like in the dream, talk me. Do you remember any particular one of the dreams where how is the experience? Is it that maybe you hear
Most,
voices singing, or an angel delivers it to you? Tell me, I'm interested.
most of the times you are in the dream and you are singing it.
Okay,
So it is
okay,
when you wake up. Okay, when you wake up, most of the time the song will be on your lips, you singing it, or it will
In your
be
spirit.
in mind,
mm,
you singing it and all that. Then you just realize, no, this is a song, this is a new song, this is a song you've never heard it anywhere before. And most of the time, the Spirit of God tells you that this is a new song I'm giving you, or something like that. So most of the time, that's what happens to me. Sometimes I
right.
don't even remember some of them when I read.
Okay, okay. Ishra, what has been your experience?
I am, by the grace of God, I'm naturally a prayerful person. So mostly I pray at night. And you see, you'll be praying, and out of your spirit, you see, there'll be this sweet melody within your spirit. And the moment it happens, so I just get a recorder and I begin to record. And also, I'm mostly also inspired by uh, sweet, like how do I even put it? The moment I sit by the keyboard, and the melodies just begins to come. Like this song, I believe the one I released 3 weeks ago. I mean, it was not part of the song we wanted to record with Coda. I mean, it was not part of the songs. But when we got to the studio, before we entered, we were just around, I mean, having some lunch with him and my husband and all that. Then suddenly, by your word I believe, and by faith I receive. So I try to write something with it, and I mean we were able to create something, and that has been the experience with the writing of the songs.
Wow, that's interesting. Let me find out the importance of mentorship. Right. So, Mama Nestina, you mentioned how you had Reverend Charlie Sam, give you that opportunity to and the confidence to start leading worship, and also kind of guided you along the way. Okay, so I'm just assuming that was um or that contributed a lot to how you grew up in your ministry. Tell me, how important is
Yeah.
it when it comes to how important is it when it comes to mentorship and direction?
It's very, 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 very important. In fact, if you are in this business or whatever you are doing and you don't have anyone directing you apart from the Holy Spirit directing you, because He is the author of everything. If you leave Him alone, then you are in big trouble, because you not know um the right person to go for instructions or direction. And so He is number one. The Holy Spirit is number one. And then you depend on Him to give you someone who will understand you and who will have the love and passion for you, for your ministry in particular. Because if you don't take care, you go astray. And
Hmm.
we should know also that we are for a particular job. You have
Okay.
been called specifically for a particular job. Maybe yours is not for the whole world to hear you. Just
Mm.
go ahead. Maybe you are for just a city or a village. It doesn't matter. The most important thing is what you have been called to do, you are doing, and because you know that you are accountable. You at the end of the day account to the one who gave the gift or the talent to you. And we should also know that God does not give um a gift or a talent or anything without providing whatever you need. God knows that you need a mentor.
Okay.
And so he will definitely give you someone who will lead you, who will give you instructions. It might not be outsider. It could be your own husband. Because I
Mm.
know Oyima Mercy is doing ministry with a husband. And look
Right.
at them.
Yeah.
They are doing very well. And so it's very, very, very important. I know of someone who wanted to do ministry, but then the husband was not allowing her. In
Mm.
the morning, early morning, the husband will say, "Pound fufu for me before you go."
Oh wow.
How can such a person do a ministry? Meanwhile, Sunday morning, she's supposed to go and then lead a worship or something. You see, so it's very, very important for anybody who is going into ministry to have a mentor for him or her to be directed. Because what will baby what's the penny being yebida, but I follow
Mm.
the obiara yebida.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
where you want to go, no, where you want to go, somebody has, I mean, passed that stage already. And so
Okay.
it is not a bad um what should I say, bad thing to, I mean, pray for God to give you someone for a direction. I believe it's very, very important for you to um come out very well. Because me, when I even I'm done with the work, I give it out to about 3 people to listen, and then listen, soak it, and then give their comments before I finally bring it out. And so it's very, very important so that if there is a mistake somewhere, you'll be corrected. And so it's very, very important for us to have a mentor.
Hmm. Jackie, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jackie? Let me. Right. Okay. Cool. Let me ask you. You said that you didn't even think you had the capability of singing. Okay, and
Yes.
you discovered that when you went to the university and you became part of the class. So, what was the one single motivation that actually pushed you into producing your own song, considering the fact that you didn't even think of yourself as someone who would be doing this?
Okay, so I think the motivation first of all came from the Holy Spirit, and secondly from probably my colleagues who also are musicians and all that. Yeah, I think that's where the motivation came from. Because I wasn't really a music person, but then um, you find most of your friends who you work with doing music, you find your family members doing music and all that. So when I went to university, I mean, I was part of the youth choir. Then in the house, I became part of CBC. Yeah, so that was where I think the motivation came from. Then through, okay, then somebody will say, oh, you have a good voice, oh, you have a good voice, you have a good voice, you have a good voice. So that was where it came from. Even with that, I still didn't believe it. But God bless the people that believed in me, saw what I couldn't see, and they kept on pushing me. People like Clement Afre and all that, who will let you go out of the normal to do things that are not you and all that. I had my pastor. Pastor Tony Amakohino giving me the opportunity to lead worship in the church and all that. So that did a lot for me. And then through I started Saturday morning worship on Facebook. Then I started having my own song. So that's where the motivation came from. You being part of us and all that. Okay, so right now it looks like you are into the music kind of circle, so you love it and all that. Then you start praying about it. Then the Lord starts giving you songs and all. And I think it's about also the desire I had. Most of the time, the people I did beat for, I mean, I did backing vocalist for, that was Mass Praise and the rest. I picked a bit of everything I am now from them. I made sure that anybody I did DJs for, anybody I followed, I picked something from them. So that was where the motivation came from. So Jacqueline Manfu is made up of a lot of, let's say, motivation from other people and all that. So that's where it came from. Yeah.
Wow. Ishra, let me ask you. I mean, I know that you pastor a church with your husband. So how has that work? That side of ministry contributed to you as a musician? How has it contributed? And are there any challenges that you have been facing when it comes to that? Yeah. Hello, Ishra. Can you hear me? All right. Okay. I don't know if I think. Okay. I think Ishra can hear me. Mama Nestina. So let's talk about.
Yes.
Let's talk about the challenges that women gospel musicians face. Okay. Is it different from what the guys face? What do you think? Oh, you have laughed. You have.
Well, I don't know much about the guys, but one common thing is to get a manager, to get someone to push your job or whatever it is. It's very, very difficult for both of us. But apart from that, well, the young ones, I started with my husband, so everywhere I go with my husband. So
Right.
nobody will tell you that, oh, I like you or something. They know
Okay.
you are married.
Right.
So that's one I have not. Though sometimes when they see my videos on television, they call, and then when you tell them that, the conversation will lead to that line, and then you tell them, oh, I'm a married person, married with children. They go like, oh, no, it's not true, you are not. And so I know that the young ones will face some of these things, but then I believe they have the strength to overcome such things. But I don't know about the guy. But means ladies will worry them.
Wow. So, Mama, you've
But
spoken about
then
the young ones.
I believe with the word of God, they will or they overcome those temptations. That's all I can say. But for apart from getting the managers and the promoters and the DJ to help us, I don't think we push through by the grace of God. But these days, it's easy with the social media. I mean, if you don't get any DJ or presenter to push your job, I mean, with the social media, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. But in our time, when there was no social media, hey, it wasn't easy at all.
Wow.
It wasn't easy. But then, by His grace, here we are.
So you mentioned the young ones. Let me go to Jackie. You mentioned the young ones. Jackie, let me come to you. So Mama Enesina says that, the challenges that the young ones face maybe will be different from what her, as someone who has been doing this for a while, faces. So tell me your story. What are the challenges that you've been facing since you started doing this?
I think some of the challenges are the fact that if people haven't really seen where you are going, if they don't see what you are seeing, I mean, you know what God has given you, you know the vision you have. So if people haven't seen where you are heading towards, there's no way they will support you.
Okay.
So me when you start to go like, oh, when I read the bed, okay. So some of the challenges are the fact that sometimes you really need help and all that, but people would rather invest in something that is already trending, something that has already been up there. But I am sure that everybody started from the bottom. Everybody
Okay.
started from the bottom. So yeah. So if I mean you haven't seen my end, and if you would want to help me, I believe there's something you are seeing that I can't see. There is something you believe, there is something better you believe can come out of me that I haven't noticed, but then you have noticed. So you want to use your help to bring that out of me.
Wow.
So most of the
Wow.
time, some of the challenges that we face is the fact that people don't know where we are heading towards because we are not there yet. So they don't want to invest in us. Yeah, and I think the other thing is you being a lady, guys will worry you. There's some people, they come and they go like, oh, please, I want you to help me with singing. I want you to do this for me. But then they have their own agenda.
Agenda.
And they come and they worry you. Yeah. And I think sometimes too, people don't really. And um, I think with women, people supporting women, they feel, oh, a man, dear, and choba, be warna, yeah, you man be free and so, and as a ministry, be free and so, and all that. These are some of the challenges we face as women or as ladies because they think, oh, and choba, or worry, yeah, and no, it's too much. And the
Right.
saddest thing is that it's actually happening. The lesson is it's actually happening. But then it's not everybody. There are people that are also pulled through who are also making a big time out there. So why don't you give it a try? So we the ladies there, we are waiting, cry. We need help. Yeah.
You need help. Okay. All right. Inshira, can you hear me now? Hello, Inshira. Can you hear me now? We seem to be having a bit of issues with Inshira's connection. Inshira, can you hear me? If I would love you to contribute if you can hear me now. Right. All right. Okay. Let's. If I establish the connection again, I will ask about Mama. Let me come to you. I think you in your submission talking about the challenges. You kept on mentioning like help from managers, promoters, and how things have changed from way back then and even up to now. Why do you think that it's a bit difficult, or it's difficult for us to get people that would invest in talents like yourself, talents like Jackie, and other people out there that are so talented? Why do you think it's the case?
I believe Jackie said something that they feel, oh, women, one day you say I'm pregnant and then the whole thing will come to a halt. and then maybe his money or his investment will be put somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is one.
Mm.
And two, there was a time that when people, people took musicians and then made them great. And
Yes.
when they became, stars, they dumped them. The musicians dumped their producers and whatever. And
Mm.
that thing became a problem in Ghana,
Okay. Okay.
some time back. And so when you present your work to um, a person that you know that he can help push the thing, they will tell you that, oh, this thing, I have done it before. I did it for this person. Today, he sees me as nobody because he's gotten the money that she wanted or he wanted. And so it became a
Right.
problem for the up and coming ones. I faced a lot because the work of my husband takes a lot of his time, and so he wasn't, and he has not been called to do that. His is different,
Right.
and so getting someone to back the whole thing up and then push it for money, yes, he is ready to, but to get someone who understands the job and then will do it, it became a problem. And that is why I will say that I have what should I say? I relaxed for some time because I wasn't getting the right people to push the thing. But
Right.
that was the problem we were facing. But I believe now things have changed. Things have
Okay.
changed a lot. Things have changed a
Mm.
lot. Yeah. This
Mm.
time around, like I said, with the social media, you can do things. Unlike our time, we have to travel all the way to Accra just to see a producer. And life be or the bell we are catch us say oh sir my yam we sa unya no ha we Chinese ho nti meet me here
Wow.
ma
Okay.
meet me I mention about two big people that they told me point blank, Madam, your song is nice, but when you rise to that pay, oh, I believe you will leave me, so I can't do that for you. Look
But
at that.
that is
Like it's a Bianca
wow.
Maya
That,
big time.
oh wow. That's so sad. I know. But that's so sad. That's so sad. But thankfully, like you said, now we have social media. And I believe one of the things we need, as far as social media is concerned, is the right knowledge to be able to navigate the space and be able to push whatever that you are doing. I mean,
Yeah.
So Jacqueline, I got to know of your music, or immediately Clement told me about you. I went straight on YouTube and I was able to listen to your song. You understand? So tell me, for since you started and released, Mama has spoken about how social media is able to help, those of us who are currently doing this. How have you been able to use social media to push your music?
So with social media, I mean, I get to create a group on WhatsApp. I create a group on WhatsApp for hype. Oh, please, Charlie, you should put this thing on Facebook for me. And that was the same thing I did with Dear God. And by the close of the day, I mean, the flyer was all over. That's what I do. I create a page on Facebook. People I believe would want to support. I add them to the group. I put it there. Everybody makes sure that they share to their contacts and all that. After that, probably I tell you, please, can you sing just a part of the song? Let me put it on Facebook. I put it there. People get to hear about the song, or probably you do a broadcast. Please share it to other people. When other people get to know of it, they come to follow me and all that. So that's how I think Facebook YouTube, Instagram, and WhatsApp has been able to help. You put something there, it's made available to a larger number of people. Yeah, unlike you going around to sell some cassettes or you going around to sell the CDs and all that. So social media, I can just sit here in my room and just reach about 1,000 people, then give it out to them. And I'm sure a lot of people also have access to social media now. So it's been a blessing. But then other people are also using it for their own thing. But then social media has been a blessing. That's why they are using it well.
Okay. Okay. Isha, do I have you back now? Can you hear me? Hello, Ishra, can you hear me? Hello. Wow, it's I don't know why the connection is not allowing us to have a free one with Ishra. Right. Okay. So let's hello
Yes,
Ishra. You can hear me?
can.
Okay, good. Ishra, I was asking earlier. I was
Yes,
asking.
I can.
You can hear me, right? So I was asking earlier on about how you are able to combine um, m- m- ministry with, because I know that you and your husband pastor a church. Okay, so
Yes.
how are you able to combine that with your personal ministry as a recording artist, and do that without any sort of distractions? How are you able to do that?
I think I have been in ministry as a young girl. To me, music has been with me from as the age of as early at 5, and most often I have lived with people that were in love with my music, and my husband has been part of those people. So he knew who I was, and he knew what I really want to do. So he's really been supportive, and getting into full-time ministry has not been easy, especially combining this with family and also pastoring the church and also marrying as well. It's not been easy at all. I remember I was part of No Tribe, their first album. Uh, this song, I'm pressed but not crushed,
Oh,
persecuted
okay.
but not banned. I did that.
Was that
I
you?
think
Oh, wow.
right after that. Oh yes, yes. So right after that, I think I entered into marriage and I moved. I had to move from Accra to live with my husband in Kumasi. Then right after marriage, we were pastoring the church. So it's not been easy. I lived with Bishop Young. In Kumasi, we're in lot of the journey. So it's not difficult. I would say that because it's been with me and I have lived it all my life. So we are trying to divide ourselves into various parts that we will be needing. Yes.
Okay. Let me pick some few messages that have come, and let me share them. So there was one from Charles that says that, Jackie, keep it up. You are going far, but you have dogged me too quickly. So Jackie, you need to get in touch with Charles. Okay, so Charles again, says Mama Ernestina Conning, and he said that your live album is beautiful. That is to you, Reverend Shira. Festus Adams says that God bless you, Mama Tina, and there were Jackie. It looks like a lot of your fans are on here. Everyone is giving you a lot of fans. So yeah. So there is Kela Mensah, there is Clement Afre, and then now Festus is back. Okay, right. Festus says, shout out to you, Clement, for mentorship. And I think there's a question here, Mama Tina. There's a question from Echirako Charles who says that, how do you manage family? I think he means to say, how do you manage family and ministry? Which is something that I think a lot of women in ministry face. How do you manage family and ministry?
Oh, well, it is not easy because you have a husband to attend to, you have children to attend to, you have your own business doing, you have your home to keep, you have the church. It is not easy, but then you have to plan very well. If you plan, you'll be able to do everything. You don't have to mix up things. You know that right from this time to this time, you have to do this. From this time, if you don't take care, doing ministry and then adding up all these things, if you don't take care, even your prayer life will be something. But you must always make sure that God first. And so you wake up, you do your.
Oh, I seem to have lost Mama Tina. Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back. We'll come back as I'll bring her back on as soon as I have her. But I mean, Isha, you've mentioned a bit of how you do a combination of ministry and then music. Now, Jacqueline, let me come to you. Jacqueline, I'm assuming that you are not married like Inshira and Mama Tina, are you? Not, not yet. So, I mean, tell me your unique or your peculiar experience of how you combine maybe friends and your extended family around you. How do you combine that with ministry as a single lady?
Okay, so I remember when I was on campus, I actually did BSc nursing. I did BSc nursing. So it was quite demanding. And so most of my weekends were packed and all that. Monday you are in class, Tuesday you are in class, Thursday you are in class. You don't have any free period. The Saturdays and the Sundays, church and gigs. So most of the time, what I do is probably after I made sure my circle was quite small. I mean, even after now, I know a lot of people, but then when it comes to friends that are very close and all that, my circle is small, so I don't. My attention is towards just a few people. I have time for just a few people. Yeah. So what I do is the little time I get, I chat with friends and all that. When it's time to go minister somewhere, I go. When it's time for work, it's time for work. So I make sure I do everything according to the time that I've been apportioned so that if it's time for this, I make sure it's time for this. If it's time for this, I make sure I don't add this to the other and all that. So I make sure I have time for my friends. I make sure maybe family is a little bit of a problem, but we've been living together since childhood, so they've had a lot of me and all that. But I make sure even the little time I spend with my family. We get to go out, friends, we get to go out, rehearsals, I'm there, church, I'm there, and all that. So most of the times you don't really have time for leisure once in a while, but we are still coping. We are still coping.
So I'm going to ask this question, and I want all of you to attempt it. How do you think that when it comes to um, gospel music ministry, how do you think that ministers with diverse gifts can support each other to, as it were, become or reach where God wants them to go to? How do you think that can be done? Because I keep hearing this a lot, that there is disunity among the gospel fraternity. There is disunity among the gospel fraternity. So having three of you here with unique gifts and talents, doing your own individual things, how do you think that gospel ministers can support each other to push the kingdom agenda? Let me start with you, Isha. How do you think we can do that?
I think in the first place, ministry is not a competition. It is not a competition. You just have to discover your purpose and your call, why you are called, who you are called for. This gives you the confidence to be content with whatever you have and the space God has given you. If someone chooses to encourage you, fine. But if no one does, if so far as God has called you and you are convinced that you were called, you should not be in competition with anyone. It's good. The Bible says we should bear each other's burden and we should encourage each other. If you see a person has a potential, I do mostly to encourage people by watching their videos, commenting, sharing, liking, and all that. I mean, but most people do not do that. And it's quite disturbing. But I mean, if you know that you are called, you should feel confident enough to be able to, stay within or contain yourself within all these things. Recently, you had the outburst between one of our sisters and our brother Joe. I mean, if you are very confident and you know that, I mean, we are not in competition with anyone, but the real deal is that we must learn to encourage ourselves. We are first Christians. We are first Christians. So that should be our first thing that every Christian must consider. If you are a musician and you are saying that you are doing gospel music, you are first a Christian. So whatever that should come out must come out of the Christ that is at work in you, the one who is living his life through you. That's what makes you a Christian. We have submitted and subjected our will to that of Christ, and he's living his life through us. The Bible says everywhere Jesus went, he was doing good. Why was he doing good? Trying to encourage people, the sinners and all that, to bring them closer to himself. That is to bring them salvation. But it's sad that when it comes to these things, the motivation is not there at all. The motivation is just quite few. And thank God, my brother Koda has been very, very, very helpful. I'll mention his name, Clement Afre. He's a guy you can trust, and Senku PK and all that. I mean, you see that when you are with these people, they will try and encourage you to know that, Charlie, you have something. And it's let me say this, it's difficult for people to appreciate you and let you know, I mean, how they are in love with what you do. It's surprising and disturbing to know that people really love what you do, but you wouldn't know if it's pride or they are scared to let you know. It's sad. It's sad. People should as Christians, we should learn to encourage each other. We should not be in competition. I know I am called. I love music. I have the call of God upon my life.
Right.
I know my purpose, who I'm called for. Well, I want to be unique and be who I am. I don't have to sound like anyone. I don't have to try to copy anyone. But if I say that God has called me, then it means he has people he has called me for. But as believers, we should learn to encourage ourselves. You might not even necessarily have to call the person. Like, comment, share. Recently, I think on Easter Sunday, one of the BVs who backed the song on my live video sent me one guy who has a very beautiful song. But even loading the thing on YouTube was difficult. The girl had to send it to me for me to share. It's quite discouraging. People with potentials, and you see the seculars, you see that they have the guys who are really supporting them, and so many of these young potentials are being lured into secular music because there's no encouragement, there's no support. If the church and if the so-called Christians, believers, we will decide to encourage each other, love ourselves, and really practice Christianity, we will support each other. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Mama, do I have you now? Mama Nestina. Hello, Mama Ernestina. Can you hear me? Hello, Mama Ernestina. All right, okay, Jacqueline, let me come to you whilst I try to get Mama Ernestina to. Let me come to you. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, I should say you are of more of a new school, okay? You are more of a new school. You've started releasing not too long ago. How do you think, gospel musicians in this present generation can support each other?
I think I wouldn't want to go into the fact that they are not helping some people feel insecure and all that. I don't really want to go there. I would touch on what we are supposed to do to help. I think we should be honest with each other. There are times that we see something out there, we know it's not the best, but then we keep on saying, "Oh, we're the airtight, airtight," and you see, how should I even say it? We would entertain people bringing out with things that are not, um, how should I even say it, consumable or something like that. So I think we
Okay, I
should
get
be
what you mean.
honest with each other when someone sends something to you, oh, it's your say, be honest with the person, bring the best out of the person. And I think some people wouldn't tell you the truth because they don't want you to correct whatever mistake that is in your work so that um, you would overtake them in court.
But don't
Yeah,
you
so
think
I think
don't
we
what
should be honest with each other.
Jacqueline, on that note, on that point, don't you think that some people will not also be forthcoming with the truth because maybe most artists are not open to constructive criticism. You
Yeah,
tell them and they'll rather take it a different
sure.
way. Don't you think that's also the case?
There are people, yeah, there are people like that. Okay, but I believe that when you are going and there are points that when you skip process, if truly you are moving forward and you want to move forward, when you skip process and get to a point where you get to realize that I should have gotten knowledge at this stage and you didn't get it, you will come back
Hmm.
unless you don't want to get to the top. So if but now that you've started or you are bringing your works out and you don't want people to criticize or to correct you and all that or give you some critiques and all that, there's a time where you would go and you would get to a particular stage and you will make that same mistake and that wouldn't be the best for you. So
Okay.
immediately when that happens, you would come back and come and learn.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So I think we should be honest with each other, support each other, share our things, all that. Because what goes outside our doing.
Hello, hello, Mama Ernestina. Do I have you now? Can you hear me? Hello, Mama Ernestina. Okay, all right, right. I should say that it's been how.
Yes, hello, I can hear you.
Oh, lovely. Right.
Yes,
So
hello.
I wanted to find out from you how gospel musicians can support each other because I was saying that we do hear a lot that there is no unity. Gospel musicians are not united. What can we do to change that? How can we support each other and push the kingdom agenda forward?
Yeah, I always say that, you know, why do people feel insecure? You are unique. I am unique. I can never be like you. You can never be like me. That is how God has created us to be. And so, why should I feel insecure? Huh? That is the problem we are facing now. That is why we are not helping each other because we feel that, oh, if I push her job or his job, uh, she, oh my God, God have mercy on us. So we have small minds, and I'm praying that God will break that thing so that we'll be free and then push ourselves. When you
Mm,
go outside there, I mean the other side.
yeah.
I mean, they're pushing. I heard Samini pulling Stone Boy with him. And now
Yeah.
look at where Stone Boy is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yesterday I was listening to them on Mark Brown's show. He mentioned so many people who have been a help to him for him to come to that level. But
Mm.
look at us. We are
Mm.
afraid of each other. We don't trust each other. That is why we are where we are. But if we can put that thing behind us and know that, Master, you are different, I am different, but same God. We are serving one God, one spirit. We will push.
Wow.
My sister Isha, this is my first time of hearing her. Yeah, Jackie, I know her. I did some work, and she was marvelous, marvelous. When I heard her singing on one of her videos, I was like, hey, wow. So I asked Nava, where is she now? And he said, Oforiwa is in Kumasi or something. See, I wanted to encourage her to go on.
Wow.
In fact, when I met them, they really did a good job for me. And so I loved them straight away because they really did it with their pure heart, and everything was nice.
Mm.
It was like we knew ourselves long ago,
Wow.
but meanwhile it was just, yeah. And
Mm.
so I believe that we have to put those things. I mean, I call it immaturity. Immaturity. Yes.
Wow.
Eh, why should I mean, oh, brother, I don't want to even talk
I know, I know,
about
I
it.
know, I know,
Oh
I know,
yes.
I know, I know, I know. But
Ah.
I mean, God will help us. And that's one of the
Ah.
reasons why we try and have this conversation. I believe personally that we should synergize. We should come into that point where, you know, like Jesus prayed. Jesus prayed for the church that
Mm-hmm.
the church will be one, even as Him and the
One.
Father are one. You know, so I think that as
The funny thing is we don't seem to know that the devil doesn't want us to be one, because he knows that when we become one, we will achieve a lot. We'll do great things for the Lord. But we allow ourselves to be used by the devil to bring divisions and confusions here and there. And when we go to programs, uh, somebody will sit here, and then because this person is here, I won't sit here. I'll go and stand at the back. And when my time is up, then what is this?
wow, wow, wow.
God have mercy on us. And
God have
because he's not
mercy.
in my camp, or she's not in my camp, uh, she's not my friend. He's not my friend. Oh,
Uh,
meanwhile, when we go to heaven, you might be my roommate. Who
oh, you
knows?
see you.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that, as we have the conversation, the Lord will use this medium to touch people, for us to have a change of mind and see that it's more of a
Amen.
kingdom agenda rather than individual agenda. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
kingdom
Yeah.
agenda. Mama, let's talk about. We were going to bring the conversation to a. Let's talk about your upcoming single. I mean, I know of the old songs, but let's talk about a new one that is coming up. So tell me a little bit about. Yeah, tell me a little bit about the new single that you'll be releasing.
Okay. The new one is titled Yahweh. Yahweh because he's Yahweh. His name is Yahweh. That's how I see him.
Mm,
It's all about this darkness thing that has taken the whole world. Although the world is in a shake, but he's not been changed, and he will never change. He is called Yahweh.
mm,
He that calls things that are not there to be in place. He's still in the business of, doing great things. And so we who are in him, we must know that he would definitely see us through. And then out of this thing, we will sing a conqueror song. That is all. That is that is all that I want to say. That we should not be afraid.
Right.
We should not be afraid. But
Amen.
then he that is called Yahweh, who is our God, will still worship and praise him. And out of praise and worship, Bible says that um, he does great things in praise and in worship. And
Mm.
so as we worship and then move along with him, we will come out victorious. We will come out and then sing a conqueror song. That's
Amen.
all about,
Amen.
yeah.
Amen. Amen. So
Yeah.
if anyone is watching us today or will watch the video later and they want to find out about how to, listen to songs from Mama Ernestina, where should they go? Somebody wants to invite you after COVID to come and minister. How should they contact you?
Oh, just go on the social media. When you go on Facebook, my name is there, Ernestina Connie, Evangelist Ernestina Connie. And then when you go on the YouTube, my name is also there. You can just text me or something. And I
Okay.
also have a group called Blazing Altars. They are mwah. Oh
Mm.
my God.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
When
Right.
you contact any of them or the group, you get me. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been such a joy to have you on here. I've just seen Mr. Eric Abamkoni saying saying more grace to all of you. My regards to him and God bless him very much. Those times way back in Takrady, he used to support
Bless
us.
you too.
Yeah, he used to support us so much.
Yeah.
So we are grateful. We are grateful. So, Mama Ernestina, thank you very much for
I'm also
joining.
grateful.
We are looking forward to the new single, and then we would make sure that we support and make sure we push it as well. All right. So, for all the young ones,
Oh, thank you.
for all the young ones who are watching us, contact Mama Ernestina. She has a lot of things to share, and I'm sure she will be ready to mentor you as well. So please do that. Contact her. Mama Ernestina, God richly bless you. So I'll catch up with you another time. Okay.
Yes. Bless you too. Bless you
Right,
too.
right, right,
Thank you
right.
for having me.
God bless you. God bless you. Okay. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Okay, then. Bless you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Mhm.
Right. So that was Mrs. Ernestina Coney, Evangelist Ernestina Coney, and I lost in Shirai Dujemfi along the way. I'm hoping that if I can get hold of her before I bring the Chatwith session to a close. It's been an awesome time, and I'm thankful to God for the opportunity. Thanks to all of you who joined your messages. Mr. Rikabam Coney, Lisbeth Intiamwa. Oh wow, hey, Lisbeth, thank you very much. My regards to your husband David. Charles, you are ever so supportive. Thank you for all the messages. And let me go to my brother Samuel Johnson. Samuel, you said that you're right. So the fact that you do not know any of these ministers, even though they have done a lot of work, you keep talking about structures. Okay, right. Samuel, it's true. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we do what we do. That all of us together we can bring or we can support each other's work by bringing the information out for everybody to be aware of each other's ministry. So I would like to thank you. It's been another wonderful session of Chat With. For Inshira Edujemfi, just visit Facebook, YouTube. If you type in Inshira Edujemfi, you'll be able to access all her songs right there, and the contact information are also on her social media portals. Jacqueline Ophoria Manfo was also my friend. Was also my guest. Well, anyway, they've become friends now. Was also my guest. You can also find out from her. You can find out about her song from Facebook, from YouTube, from Instagram, and what have you. Myself as well. You can check out my music. Facebook, Daniel Dadson. Daniel Dadson on Instagram and on what do you call it, YouTube as well. Right. So shout out to everyone that joined. Let me see if I can play. If I can play out one or two songs before we go. Let me see if I can play out with a song from Jackie, and then we'll do one from Mama Ernestina before we go. So yes, let me try and bring you a song from Jackie before we go. Okay, keep on saying. So God willing, next week, God willing, next week I would be having another guest join me, and what I'm believing God to do is that I'll be bringing you some new unsung artists. Some of these gospel artists are doing marvelous in within their own community and within their own space, but we'll try and see if we can have a conversation with them and bring them on Chatwith session. We'll also be bringing some of our friends who are also out there and get them to come and encourage us once in a while. So this is a track from Jacqueline. She calls this one God of Miracles. So yeah, let's play.
You came into my life, Lord, turned everything around, When hope was lost, Lord, turned water into wine, If you dare do things where you blow my mind, Lord, if you will come through for me all the time. Isn't it, you working miracles, oh. 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 I forgive you praise, I forgive you all the praise. Cause not only you, Lord, not only you be great. Dependable God, reliable God, unchangeable God. Dependable God, reliable God, unchangeable God. Isn't it, you working miracles, oh. 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 Isn't it, you working miracles, unchangeable, reliable, dependable God. Isn't it, you working miracles, oh. Isn't it, isn't it, you working miracles, oh. Isn't it, you working miracles, oh. Isn't it, you working miracles, oh. Isn't it, you working, you pay my side, isn't it, you working miracles, oh. In the doses when there's blow my mind, you working miracles, oh. Miracle, miracle, miracle,
Right. So that was Miracle God by Jacqueline Forever and For Your Head. She was one of my guests right here on the Chatwith session. Let me play out. I'm trying to see if I can bring the very last track from Mama Ernestina Coney just before we go. So just bear with me one moment. Let me try and do that just before we go. But hey, like I said, God willing, next week I will be having some more special guests joining me on the Chatwith session with me. If you have any questions at all, make sure that you drop them in the comment box. Or if you want to feature on the show as well, hey, my doors are open. The door is open for you. You can send me a message directly on Facebook, and I will respond, and we can do some scheduling. So yeah, let me play one from Mama Ernestina Coney. Let me see this one. Okay. Just bear with me. I'm gonna bring this. Yeah.
Jesus son inside of me soul. Inside of me soul, Jesus son inside of me soul. Benya Jesus son inside of me soul. Benya Jesus son inside of me soul. I go say, Benya Jesus son inside of me soul. Benya Jesus son inside of me soul. Inside of me soul, Jesus son inside of me soul. Inside of me soul, Jesus, inside of me soul. Benya Jesus son 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 inside of me soul. Hey, 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 hey. Inside of me soul. Inside of me soul. Benya Jesus son 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 inside of me. Oh yes, Benya Jesus son inside. Oda wodo, oda modo, oda yendo. Inside of yes, Benya Jesus son inside of me soul. Benya Jesus son inside of yes soul. Benya Jesus son inside of yes soul. Benya Jesus. Benya Jesus son inside of wodo, oda wodo, oda yendo. Inside of yes soul. You know, for the wolf of a Tanya Jiwaye, Wunkwana Opata, Jiwaye yo, Wunkwana Opata, Jiwaye, Wunkwana Opata, Jiwaye yo, Wunkwana Opata, Wamameu. Era Jimmy Mawamo, oh, Jiwaye yo, mama baby, irati mi ma wa mo ah. Wa mama ewu, irati mi ma wa mo ah. Wa mama baby, irati mi ma wa mo ah. Wa mama